You did it! 28 days of intensive English training are in the books. Seriously, that is a huge deal and you should be so proud of yourself for sticking with it.
Welcome to English Mastery Daily, and today we're going to boil down everything you've just learned into the absolute most important game-changing lessons.
So you put in the work for 28 days, right? But what are the core lessons? The ones that are really going to stick with you and elevate your English for good. Well, that's exactly what we're here to do. Let's break it all down. Okay, first up, let's talk about the foundational skills. And I mean the real foundations, the stuff you absolutely need to understand how people actually talk, out in the real world. All right, let's get one thing straight right off the bat. Phrasal verbs, they are not some advanced topic you can just put off for later. No way. For native speakers, this is basic, everyday stuff. It's the bread and butter of conversation. So if you want to sound natural, you've got to get comfortable with them. Just take a look at this. You might say continue, which is perfectly correct, but a native speaker is probably just going to say carry on. Or instead of discover, they'll say figure out. See that difference? That's the leap from sounding like you're reading from a book to just sounding real. Now, this next one might feel a little backwards at first, but trust me, it's a total game changer. We're always so obsessed with speaking, right? But we forget the most important half of the equation, listening. Think about it. You can only speak the language you've actually taken in. The best speakers, they are always fantastic listeners first. Okay, here's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of us. That perfect, clean English you find in textbooks, it's a great starting point for sure, but it is not how real people talk. Real-life conversations are messy. They're filled with idioms, slang, and all sorts of personality. Learning to embrace that messiness, that's when you really start to become fluent. All right, so we've got our foundations solid. Now let's build on that and talk about something that can literally change your life: professional communication. These are the skills that open doors. So, pronunciation. We tend to think it's just about being understood, right? And yeah, that's maybe 30% of it. But the other 70%, that's the real magic. It's about how it makes you feel. When you know you sound clear, your confidence just skyrockets. And trust me, people notice. It projects authority and earns respect. Now, this is so important, especially at work. You'd be surprised how many people will judge your written English even more harshly than your spoken English. Why? Because a conversation is, well, it's in the moment, it's fleeting. But an email, that thing is permanent. It's a record of who you are long after you've clicked send. And speaking of emails, here's a pro tip that can be the difference between getting a job and not. The interview is not over when you walk out the door. A lot of the time, it's one in the follow-up email. That one single email is your secret weapon. It's your final shot to leave an amazing professional impression. Okay, grammar, let's be real. The goal here isn't to be a grammar professor. It's about being professional. You don't need to know every single tiny rule. What you do need is to avoid those simple, common mistakes, like it's versus its, that just make you look careless. Getting these basics right is like putting up a shield. It protects your credibility. Okay, last section. Let's pull all these threads together and talk about the real-world mindset. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's all about taking these ideas and actually using them in your day-to-day life. Now here's the detail that really separates the good from the great. British versus American English. Color versus color. Lift versus elevator. Schedule versus schedule. Look, neither one is better than the other. The key though, pick one and stick with it. Consistency is what makes you sound polished and professional. And this might be the biggest lesson of the entire course. Textbooks are great for rules, but fluency, that's forged in the fire of real-world conversations. I'm telling you, seeking out those real, messy, unpredictable chats is 1,000 times more valuable than any textbook exercise. That's where the real magic happens. So, you have the lessons. You know what to do. But how do you keep this amazing momentum going? Well, that's what this next part is all about. Think of it as your personal cheat sheet, your keynote for the next 30 days of smashing your goals. Here's how you can structure your next month to make it super effective. Week 1 is all about consolidation, just really making sure everything you've learned sinks in. Week 2, you're gonna go deeper. Week 3 is for real-world practice. Get out there and use it. And then, week 4, you're gonna look ahead and set your next big 90-day goal. Simple, right? And you know what? We can make it even simpler than that. Let's boil it all down to just 4 daily habits. this is your final challenge. For the next 30 days, every single day, I want you to speak, listen, write, and learn. Just those 4 things. That daily consistency, that's what's going to create massive change.
Wow, we've covered so much ground today, haven't we? From phrasal verbs to job-winning emails. But you know, the single most important lesson from this whole 28-day journey, it's actually something way simpler than all of that. It's this.
The most important thing you've learned isn't a vocabulary word or a grammar trick. It's the proof. It's the fact that for 28 days, you showed up, you put in the work, you proved to yourself that you absolutely can do this. And that belief, that's more powerful than any textbook in the world.
So yeah, this 28-day chapter is over. But your English journey,
Oh, it is just getting started.
so the real question is, what's next for you? How far are you going to go? The path is wide open, and it's all yours.